Chapter 26 with Jake. The good news is Marco had gotten out of the neighborhood so he couldn't destroy any more trash cans. The bad news is he gotten on the highway. Pass on the left, not the right. Hey, I'm cool now, Marco yelled in front of the open back window of the truck. It's like that game now, no problem. It isn't dark on the video game. Sure, that part of the tunnel. You mean the part where you always crash and burn? Uh-oh. We had turned down the highway at 70 miles an hour, waiting for a stream of bright red tail lights. I was halfway a tiger morph as deliberately dragging out to keep it interested. It was working. The village was interested. I was staying in a rattling swing bed of a jumpy old pickup truck just about 5 car lengths back there as a piece 50 feet wide as nothing but sheer destruction. Occasionally our motorists would offer us advice, I hear bits of it as we shot by. Idiots, why don't you? What kind of moron? Where'd you learn to drive, Jersey, you stupid? It's scanning us, told Marco. This thing won't go any faster. Good, I said. Off-road, we're going off-road. No! But it's too late. Kabump, bump, 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 bump. The truck plunged off the road, jumped the ditch, slammed on a wire fence, and went straight for the trees. Tree left, tree right, tree. Branches scraped at the sides of the truck behind us, shooting for the trees came to Velik. Marco wants more if I'm gonna bail. Give me 5 minutes and it's your turn. Yeah, Marco yelled. Jake, be careful. Try not to destroy Cassie's dad's truck, okay? Get ready, slowing down. He slammed the brakes. Wham! The side of the truck slid into a tree. I sprang from the bed of the truck. Marco floored the truck and sped off through the brush, engine roaring. I landed like the cat I was. The tiger's side we knew where we were. It knew it in its bones. This is the cat born and bred for dark nights and dense forests. In a rush of sensory information, I heard, smelled, saw the environment around me. Dark penetrating eyes, ears attuned to every sound. A sense of smell told me stories of deer and wolves and wild pig that haven't passed the area, but what I needed now is agility and speed. I completed the morph as long as no one else did, the Velik would chase me. At least that's what I hoped. It was on me. I turned at lightning speed, did the one thing I wouldn't expect, I charged straight at it. The beast hesitated and stopped. I let loose a roar and made a grown man with his pants. I unleashed incredible power with my cold muscles and leaped through the air, claws outstretched. It was an attack that would kill just about anything, but had no effect on the Velik. At the last second before getting my claws and jaws encountered those long rows of rashing teeth and spinning blades, I tucked my head, drew my paws back, hit the ground directly beneath the dressed beast, and then shoom, right under him, right under the Velik and out the far side. I hauled my orange striped tail out there at a maximum warp. Let's see how fast you can turn, creep. Turns out it wasn't all that fast. It took several seconds for it to turn itself around. I thought, well, so it does have some weaknesses. Some, but not enough. If through trees undergrowth had like an out-of-control mulcher it was. Tigers are fast and powerful, but they are not a great endurance. I was a sprinter, not a marathon runner. I moved out, racing wildly through trees, turning left and right, then straight, sharp right, doubling back, going back again. Some clumsy Billy couldn't catch me, but I couldn't keep up. I was winded, panting, tongue hanging out, exhausted. It was time for distraction. I was hoping Marco provided in time. The plan was to run back and forth one morph to another. If we wanted to hunt more, so give them to hunt. It wasn't much of a plan, it only worked if we could be worn out. The odds are we'd all wear out first. I fired myself off a tree, claws bitten in the bark, tired muscles propelling up and up through the branches. It chewed for the tree I was on. I looked down and saw it right below me. The tree was still standing, but it was straight at the base, and it was chewing right up the tree. I leapt in the darkness. I fell, claws stretched through the night air. Chapter 27 with Rachel. The dust beast dropped me. I hit the road. I hit it hard. The concrete cracked and popped open, revealing gravel beneath. Flash, I was flying. A bird, an eagle, going to see Tobias. Going to tell him what? Something. Birds, suddenly out of nowhere, slamming around me, attacking me in front, the side, turn, dive, get away, and a tree. Wham. What did it mean, Tobias? I remembered a name. I watched the dust beast reform after a truck that was careening toward the street. Hurrying straight toward a parked car, and then a tiger. Not quite. Half human, half tiger. A freak. It climbed the back of the truck, and someone else behind. A girl, short, wearing overalls. Flash, I can show sight. The one where the alien had landed. She was there. She was there. I knew this girl, but was she a friend? One of them? One of the enemies? Rachel, she yelled, are you okay? Rachel. Yes, the alien called me the burning shack. Rachel, that was my name. That was my name! A flash, one saying, Rachel, I know you don't like your lima beans, but eat them anyway, they're good for you. Flash, a girl younger than me saying, Rachel, Rachel, everything's always Rachel around here. A man's voice will never saying, now next on the balance beam, Rachel. Yes, I remembered, I was Rachel. Who is this short girl calling me, and what was I? Rachel, can you hear me? Who are you, I asked. What do you mean, who am I? Who are you, I yelled in Buzzspeak. Tell me or I'll crush you. Rachel, it's me, Cassie. Cassie? Are you okay? No, I'm not. Are you my friend? Rachel, I've been your friends for years, the girl calls out Cassie said. My memory... I don't remember. Cassie? What am I? She stared at me from honesty, doubt in her eyes. She looked around the street. The first cops had taken off at her wild pickup truck, but more signs were blaring coming closer. You're human, Rachel. No, I mean, I know. I'm something else too. Look at me. How can I do this? What am I? She had a gaze. Human elephant. I guess it seemed bizarre to frighten to see people peeking out their windows. You're an Animorph, Rachel. An Animorph. And I guess something that happened to you messed up your memory. But right now, my friend, you have to trust me. You have to trust me. Animorph, that word for my dream. Trust her. Trust the girl who calls up Cassie and says she's my friend. I looked down at her in my elephant eyes. Could I trust her? How could I know? How could I be sure? Cassie, I said? Yes. Tell me what to do. Poor girl. Chapter 28 with Axe. The Yerks put me in a box, not a cage, a Ramonite box with seamless walls on all sides. I was in that box for a tiny span of many hours. Earth hours, I should say, or that's what he says. And I felt despair. The special despair comes to dishonor. Vizafree killed my brother, and by the laws and customs of my people, I was supposed to avenge that murder. I was obligated to kill Vizafree if I ever had a chance. I've been face to face with him, I'd done nothing. Yes, I've been surrounded by Harbinger, and I was young and not a full-fledged warrior. I can say the full burden of revenge had not yet fallen on me. But it was a bitter feeling, a terrible feeling, knowing I've been faced by Vizafree and I'm not shook. Had I missed my one chance for revenge? In my mind, I pictured the scene again. I've been surrounded by Harbinger, but with Vizafree himself within range. Could I have struck? Could I hit him before they disintegrate me? No. Logic said no. I felt a sick, twisting doubt inside me, though. Dishonor is a terrible thing, worse than death for an Andalite warrior. Suddenly, one wall of my cage shimmered and became transparent. Ramonites and melody stretched open and be made clear, opaque by molecular rearrangement. I could see the room beyond my cage, the bridge of the Vizafree's blade ship. He stood and focused on a raised platform in a center triangular room. A line on three sides of the bridge were various workstations made by Taxons and human controllers. Taxons are worm-like creatures. They have rows and heel-sharp legs and are Earth's centipede. They hold the upper third of their bodies erect, and along the upper body, rows of legs came pairs of weak but agile arms. A series of globular red eyes surround the top end of the worm. At the very top is an always open circular mouth. The Harbinger are a race of peace-loving creatures enslaved by Yerks, but the Taxons chose to ally themselves to the Yerks. Each one now has a Yerk in its vile head, adding Yerk intelligence to their own deep evil. They usually handle more subtle work, Harbinger soldiers. The Yerk Empire only just began to integrate as new human slaves in the Empire. In the air where Vizafree is a hologram, obviously being shot from great distance. The scene was distorted and light enhancing of an eerie, dreamlike quality. I thought you might enjoy watching this, Vizafree said. We're lucky to get a visual lock. My Velik is closing on another of your band. Soon you'll have company. The hologram shimmered and wavered. I could see Velik tearing through trees in the forest. Then a sudden flash of orange and black. A tiger, Prince Jake. There are some magnificent animals on this planet, Vizafree said. I'll have to acquire one of those. Look at how it moves, but it's wearing out. It's a fast killer. It can't handle a long battle. Incidentally, it's not exactly pointed out, but I think Vizafree is just a cat person. Like, even aside from everything else, he just likes cats on principle. Suddenly, a tiger that was Jake shot up a tree. The Velik was eating its way up. And then Prince Jake shot in the air. I could barely see it hit the ground. It bare its teeth. It was too tired to run now. In a second, it'd be over. The Velik could envelop the tiger and bring it in. And suddenly it hesitated and stiffened. Then it disintegrated like a tornado swept away at extreme speed. What is happening? Vizafree cried. Every Taxon, Harbinger, and human control on the bridge flinched. One of them stepped forward similarly. Visitor, the Velik must have sensed another morph. 'Cause cats are mean? Yeah. Allegedly. Why doesn't it bring me this one first? Visitor, as you know, our knowledge of Velik is not perfect. I can only speculate. I suddenly satisfied the cowering controller, the blade pressing against his throat. Speculate quickly. The Visitor feeds on energy and senses it. We made an insensitive to energy field created by during morphing. This bandit, the tiger creature, has stopped morphing, so attraction is weakened. It would still catch a tiger, only some more morphing energy field must have been created. It senses new field and goes to a new energy source. He drew his tail from a man's neck and he clasped to his knees, sweating and shaking. Launch both bug fires, he said. Keep a visual lock on the Velik. Attack spoken in a strange language. Shreen, 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 shreen. Faster than I could follow, he lashed out his Andalite tail. Shreen. The Taxon screamed. It was sliced open as I sloshed out. The Taxon collapsed in a heap. The creature said it's difficult to keep a visual lock on the Velik. Does anyone else think it's difficult to follow my orders? No one did. Clean up this incompetent filth. Launch the bug fires. Keep a visual lock on the Velik. All said very calmly. Two Taxons pushed forward and to eat their fellow. The others on the bridge all paid very close attention to their work. Very close attention. He turned his main eyes on me while his stock eyes swept the room looking for any slackness on the part of his creatures. I guess it isn't going too well for you, Visitor, I sneered. Yes, sure, Andalite bears have found a weakness in my Velik. They are playing games, morphing here, morphing there, whipping from place to place, but you forget, I have an Andalite bio full of morphing powers. I know your weakness too. They can't play this game for long, and I'm about to add to their troubles. He turned all eyes to me with a leering and deadly gaze. I'd like to keep them alive for my own reasons, but if I can't, I'll make do with their lifeless bodies. Chapter 29 with Marco. Crunch, screech, blam, whump, bump, squeal. One of the trees I roared and went left of the pickup truck. I applied for a ditch out in the road, kicking up mud and gravel. I'm surprised he made it out of the forest at all. It was a dark, narrow road that ran behind the housing development. I come full circle. I don't care what anyone says. I drove okay. Or, at least it's getting better. I was running into things less. I began to morph, but I didn't want to give up on a truck. After all, I was supposed to get back out to Cassie's farm when we were done with it. I think it's a little late for that, but okay. So I chose the one morph I had in my arsenal I could drive. Time for the monkey suit, I muttered as I barreled down the road, hitting only an occasional mailbox. I focused and concentrated as well as I could. Fortunately, the morph I identified was familiar, but still had to reach my shoulders doubling in size, tripling, quadrupling. It was a rush. I mean, I wasn't the biggest guy, kind of short, I was kind of small. When I do this morph, I get massively powerful. It's incredible. And this morph I lifted up guys and thrown them for the air. And this morph I punched Harbinger and they stayed punch. And this morph I kicked the butts of entire Dallas Cowboys all at once. 400 pounds, give or take a few. Not 400 pounds of fat. I was going 400 pounds of hardcore, bad as can be. Don't even look at me, cross-eyed, shoulders like a cement truck, neck like a fire hydrant, fists like sledgehammers, dominant male silverback gorilla. They're sweet, gentle animals unless you insist on making them mad, at which point they're capable of ripping out a small tree and playing baseball with you as the ball. I glanced in the rearview mirror, my eyes became little gorilla eyes, my mouth was puffing out and turning dark. I was scared. See, as tough as a gorilla may be, I was nothing like that dust monster. I wasn't morphing to fight that thing, I was morphing to draw him on. I was bait, and it was a shark, and that fact did not make me happy. I heard the roar of the tornado behind me. I pressed my growing foot on the accelerator. Chapter 30 with Rachel. I charged my trunk held high, trembling in defiance. I ran toward the line of trees that hugged a house development. I crashed hugely through yards and lawns, as in a hurry, and lawns could be fixed. Your name is Rachel. You're an animorph. You're created by a dying Andalite prince. You're given the power from any animal we touch. We were running, or I was, this girl riding my back. She told me we had to get away from the homes. We had to get to the forest, that the dust beats would kill us if people didn't get away. That made sense. The rest seemed insane. I'm Cassie. We're best friends, Rachel. There's Jake, your cousin, Marco, Tobias, trapped in morph. He's stuck as a flash, a terrible place deep in the bowels of the earth. A dim cave as big as a sports dome. And the center of a pool looked like a molten lead. Piers reaching out, caves around the edges. The cries, the terrible cries of terror and despair. A battle rage. I was there, and I was an elephant just like now. A battle against monsters, and a bird screamed down high from the cave. It screamed down with wings back, hooked beak, and terrible talons. A hawk, I said to Cassie. Yes, that's it. That's Tobias. I crashed through a flimsy fence in someone's backyard. They crashed through again on the way out. Open field, we're out of the house now, running for cover in the woods. I ran half in the woods. An old woman was yelling about Yerks. I said she was crazy about Yerks coming for her. The Yerks are real. Look, Rachel, you don't have to remember everything at once. We're in a terrible fight. We need your help. What help is suspiciously? We're trying to keep the village distracted. It's chasing after morphing energy. It's drawn to anyone morphing. So we're morphing every 5 minutes open to wear it out. How do you know it wears out? We don't. That doesn't sound like much of a plan. Are you animals always this hopeless? Pretty much. The bad guys have all the power. Sometimes you think it's hopeless fights. Hopeless? Isn't that the best kind of fights? Cassie laughed. You may have lost your memory, but you're still Rachel. It's about time for me to morph. Let me jump off. No, I said, this beast couldn't lift me. I was too big. Stay on and morph where you are. Come after us, but if it can't lift me, it may not be able to get you. I felt her pat the back of my massive head. My girl, Rachel. Okay, here goes nothing. What are you morphing into? Something small to maybe it won't be able to sever me from you. A squirrel. We can morph small things. Sometimes smaller is better. I felt a strange scraping, tickly feeling my back as the girl who said she was my friend became smaller. Chapter 31 with Marco. Ah! I thought as if it plays after me. I yelled. I had a strange desire to pound my chest with a massive fist, but I stuck to driving instead. Heard a tornado behind me. I shot a look at the rearview mirror. The mirror was filled with gashing mouths. The truck was made as fast as it could, so there was some flash of brilliant red light coming from the sky. Dracon beams. Then my headlights, an elephant. What? I slammed my brakes, but it was too late. Woof. Everything was upside down, rolling, pain, suddenly flying. Things hit me, bushes ripped at me. I hit the ground hard, as I ditched half filled with water. The truck was overturned on its back a few feet away. The wheels were still spinning, the headlights still shining. Dracon beam sliced the ground a few feet away from my head. Bug fires. I tried to move. Bug shot from my head. I moved my arms, but it's still in one piece. If I had been human, I would have been killed, but it took more than a 70-mile-an-hour crash to kill the gorilla. Somewhere I heard an agonized trumpeting sound. The dust beat was over me, and the tornado melts and blades, but it didn't want me. It was after someone else. I feel subconsciously dimming. I had no more. Let it take me if it had to. Let it take me. Chapter 32 with Cassie. I was a shrink. Rachel's elephant back growing began to grow and grow, sprang out from me like a heaving, wobbling gray blanket. A tail sprout from me, of my face bulged out and pointed. Pale gray fur spread across my body. I've morphed into a squirrel before, of course. I knew what to expect. The body is wonderful, since it's keen and sharp, but the mind lives in a state of perpetual terror, looking for predators. The only other emotion is hunger. Personally, I doubt that. I swear I've seen the squirrels mock my dogs before. But if I control a squirrel's fear, if I can control my own, it was easier said than done. I was strong to muscle Taurus, the energy has allowed me to become a squirrel's bait to the dust beast. At a corner of my house, I saw headlights. Something big was in the air before the lights, dark shadows swallowed up stars. The beast, the Velik. I stopped the mark, feeling out of fear. My fear from the squirrel's fear never gained control. Suddenly, predator! The squirrel's terror shot through me. Overhead, a giant bird. Like a giant bird. The squirrel's brain was screaming, run! Stabbing beams of light, Dracon beams, the bug fire flew in coming in low, but the surge's Rachel power huge by faster. What's happening? She cried in thought speak. It wasn't morphed enough to thought speak yet. My mouth wasn't fully human either. The noises I made would mean nothing to Rachel. Phew, a light so bright it blinded me. Rachel screamed, and I smelled burnt flesh. I blinked trying to clear my half-human, half-squirrel eyes. I saw a seared line of black flesh down on Rachel's side of a Dracout beam. Headlights too close, and then bam! I flew tumbling through the air, a twisted half-formed creature. I landed hard, my fall was cushioned by dense bushes. Through her eyes half-human and swear I saw a horrifying scene. Rachel on her side trembling in pain and rage. A pickup truck landed on its back, its wheels spinning. Just about a truck, a gorilla struggled to get up. Marco, a bug fire zipped overhead. I stopped morphing and froze. I was a 2-foot-long creature with a hand, tail, and human hands and patchy gray fur poking from under through spanx and flesh. This piece settled over, spread over the three of us, Rachel, Marco, and me. I looked up in that gnashing teeth and whirling blades and eerie, staring eyes. It would take whoever drew it by morphing. It would take me if I morphed, and if I did nothing, if I just closed my eyes and hugged the dirt and did nothing. The dream. Evil had come and choose between me and another, just like the dream. I heard its tornado roar. It had found its prey, and I closed my eyes. Chapter 33 with Axe. I watched it all in the wavering, shimmering hologram. The elephant running, the truck racing with Velik in hot pursuit. The picture became sharper, now seemed to see through the gun camera of one of the bug fires. A flashing light indicated it was about preparing to fire a streak-on beam. The red beams lanced toward the elephant and it ran in terror. The truck hit and the flash was all over. The elephant lay sprawled across the side of the road. The truck was overturned. The Velik was hovering over the scene. It dropped down, enveloping a ditch. Rose was sling concealed and sighted. The Velik arced swiftly toward the sky out of range of the bugfire cameras. Come to me, my little pets, Visitor crowed. Bring my second Andalite bandits. He turned stuck eyes toward me. You'll have company soon. I felt a stinging sensation. Who had the Velik taken? Rachel? Cassie? Marco? Call the buckfires, Visitor said. Tell them to land. Hold on that large creature. The Velik can't carry it until it demorphs into something smaller. Visitor, one of the human controllers, to tell me the bugfires is a crew of one task and one harbinger. May I suggest we contact our Earth-based human controllers to be less, conspicuous on harbinger. Do it, but tell the bugfire crews they will contain the beast. They will not let it go. Or I'll see they become the main course of attack in this next meal. I'm going to my quarters. Call me and the Velik arrives my prize. Blank the Andalite's cage. The cage wall became opaque. I was alone again and it was sea out. I was left to imagine the fate of my human friends. I never felt more worthless, more powerless. I felt something pain my arm, and it was, what did Marco say they were? Fleas? I swat absently. Wait, a flea? Hadn't I heard Jack say about flea done it before? Yes, I sure as a flea. He'd morphed one. After all, he was just a human. Surely. I reached for a flea, easier said than done. It hopped away. I found it again. Again, it escaped. Just a bit of casual alien racism, I guess. Speciesism. On the third try, I caught it. I squeezed the flea carefully between my fingers. I focused on it. Yes, it might just work. We had very few animals that are small in my own world. Perhaps the same is true of the Yerks. The visitor did not expect me more something so small, in which case I might have one slim chance. I morphed a fly, then I morphed an ant, but as small as they were, they're not small enough. An ant was far larger than a flea, many times so, but a flea is nearly invisible. I'm going to shrink at a startling rate. Each morphing is unique. Things don't happen logically. Some parts of your body change in shape, but they're still too large in size. Oftentimes, the parts of your body shrink down, kind of very tiny, and change shape at the last minute. That explains why I know I was still a couple of feet tall. I felt too long touched from shooting out my mouth. Too long teeth. I knew immediately what they were used for. They were what the flea used to pierce my blood. My skin drank my blood. Why did a flea should have a taste for Andalite blood's a mystery, but I knew how little monsters did work, and I didn't want to dwell on that image. My arms and legs began to segment. Joints appear they should not bend. Tender joints that scraped as I moved. My tail withered away, my body swelled. I was bloating up, but at the same time my balloon tamper gave way to an exoskeleton, a shell. I could hear my bones dissolving, feel sickening lurches as my internal organs all disappeared. My complex alien heart seemed something that was barely a valve. Long spike hair shot from my jointed leg. Some sort of shell helmet for injured backward raked spikes replaced my face. And all the while, the floor of my cage grew vastly wider and closer. I felt like I was on an endless landscape of smooth black glass. My stalk eyes were blind as I became short, stubby antennae. My sight, my main eyes dimmed and shattered 1,000 points of light. I was almost blind, but I could see nothing but shades of gray. Dots, not shapes. I could not hear in the usual sense, but I could pick up subtle vibrations from antennae and through all the hairs of my body. I stood on my 6 invisibly small legs, plated by shell armor, almost blind, able to hear, and afraid. Next move was up to the Yerks. I waited and took off the mitts. The flea's ran scarcely one at all. It contained almost nothing. It was untold what new was this, jumped toward warmth and smell of life. Since there was no warmth and no smell, the flea ran nothing much to say. I waited and hoped and feared and listened for a visitor's thought speech. There are two kinds of thought speech, open and closed. Open can be heard by anyone. Closed is like a human whispering only one person. He was orders an open thought speech so everyone heard. That's how I knew when he returned. For since I heard you, and you two, follow me to the bridge. I tried to control the fear well up inside me as I approached. I hated him. I knew I had to live in I hate and try not to let the fear overpower me. My time would come, I told myself. I'd avenge Elvingor. I would save my honor. Where is the Velik? Then open the hatch, you idiot, and let it in. Yes, right here in the bridge. And brighten Andalite's cage. I want these old friends to meet. I saw light, which is just an increase in number of gray dots. There's a silence from him about 2 seconds, and an explosion of enraged thoughts speak. You fools! Where is it? Where is it? I'll kill every one of you if it has escaped. Suddenly a rush of air. I felt it waft across my bristles and antennae, then a scent of exhaled breath, a sensation of some warm object, a smell of a living creature. No, don't open the cage, he yelled. Too late, I thought. Jump. My back legs struck on a biological spring. Once it fired, and the energy went to my legs and I went flying. I've seen humans jump. They cannot jump their own heights. Even we can barely jump our own heights. But the flea can jump 100 times his own height if a human being can simply leap over a 60-story building. I flew for the air, and as I did, I somersaulted so I have flying legs first. I hit something and stopped very suddenly. Close the cage, Viscery screamed. I felt a slow movement in the air just above me, and the thing I was attached to fell. And even as he fell, I could sense he no longer smelled like life.